Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is your friend Daniel X with a comprehensive video as to how I use the vision accessibility features on my iPhone. Alright, so I have it basically set up as it would come out of the box, although I do have the zoom enabled, as you can see. Alright, so we're going to open that icon first, the settings icon. Alright, open up settings, scroll down till you find general. Then at the bottom of the screen, it should say accessibility. Okay. So the very first thing you're going to want to do is enable the large text, which right now it's about 1/3 from the bottom of the screen. Enable it right away. And you have this little graph thing at the bottom. You can scroll all the way to the right, left. You can go all the way to the right, make it as big as possible. The only problem is, as you could see before, it took us right into vision, which is pretty cool. But now we only have two options, and then stuff like this happens. Display accommodations. It just makes it harder to read, and it's cumbersome. However, if that is helpful for you, then use it. It's a personal preference, right? So I personally use it about 4 from the right. That's what works for me. Okay, so now that's enabled. Now we can do other things on the phone. It'll make it easier to set up the other features, okay? So I'm going to show you first, go all the way back, show you what it looks like when I go into my settings. Okay, settings, general, accessibility. Remember, settings, general, accessibility. That's how you find your vision features and other features, of course. So let's take it one at a time. So the voiceover, I don't use it. I tried using it once. It just wasn't useful for me. I'm legally blind, not fully blind, so if I look close enough and zoom things in, I can see it in the voiceover. It just didn't seem to work with some apps and stuff that I was using. And I guarantee somebody's done a better video. I just don't want to cover something I don't really know about. Okay, so let's go right away to Zoom. I love Zoom, use it all the time. I've been using it since I started this video. So let's click on that. See, I already have it enabled. So the way it works, you double tap with 3 fingers. I use my index, middle, and ring finger. And now listen, hopefully you can hear it as I double tap. Okay, so if you want to make it bigger, on the second double tap, before you lift your fingers up, you slide up or down. Sliding up, make it bigger, slide down, make it smaller, slide up, make it bigger, slide down smaller, slide up bigger. When you lift up your fingers, that's where it will be. If any of you guys want to see a video of me doing this, just comment below and I'd be happy to make a video of that. Okay, so, and then you kind of take your 3 fingers, you push down and you scroll, just like you would normally scroll, except you use 3 fingers to do it, right? Okay, so let's undo that. All right, so that's basically the zoom, which I think is great. Okay, so the magnifier is really cool. It should be called maybe binoculars or something like that, but it's called the magnifier. But what it is let's click into it. I already, of course, have mine enabled, but you triple click the home button, and it focused pretty quick. Sometimes it can take a long time to focus, and it can be cumbersome to use, especially if you're like in a grocery store and you're just trying to read something real quick. You know, what I generally do if I'm trying to read something, like especially at a grocery store or even at home, if I want to read directions or something like that on a product, I will open the camera, just the regular camera, and take a picture, right? So you don't have to zoom in too far. I can see pretty well. Okay, so let's take a picture of that. Now I'm going to take a picture of this one. And then the same thing, it would say sugar-free at the top if it was like sugar-free, and I can't necessarily see that, so I'd rather take a picture and make sure I'm right. You can also, of course, compare the products, but if they're all sugar-free, it's hard to tell. So let's do that first. It doesn't say anything about being sugar-free. It says Italian sweet cream, and it's naturally and artificially flavored or whatever. Okay, great. Let's look at the ingredients, and now you don't have to zoom in a lot, which is cool. I mean, when you take the picture, but now you can zoom in a lot. Okay, ingredients, there's water, sugar, high oleic soybean oil, corn syrup, solids, etc. of weird stuff that probably shouldn't be in my food, but it is. All right, let's look at the other one. See this box, it's interesting. Like if you look here, you know, best if used by July of 16 of 2019. And then there's the little recyclable, it's a paper carton. And here you can see the ingredients, although the light was there. So I could take another picture to, whoops, what happened there? To see that better, but I don't really care. I don't really care about it, so I'm not going to. There's peanuts and oil, and see how it. Now there was the light, which was shining there. That's so you can see like the flash of the light, but you could just take another picture. So, anyways, that's what I do. The magnifier, I generally use it to see something that I don't need a picture of. If I'm at Publix or say a grocery store or Home Depot, and I triple click the home button, and it automatically goes to the magnifier, and then I can look at what's in the aisles, like what's on the big sign that shows what's in the aisles. Like let's say I'm at a grocery store, it'll say rice or cereal or flour, so I don't have to necessarily guess what's in the aisle and walk down the entire aisle. So it's pretty cool. And same thing at Home Depot. If I want to find wood or nails, I can use the that feature, you know. Okay, so that basically covers the magnifier. You triple click the home button and it enables it. Or you can take a picture, so it's really up to you. Okay, display accommodations. This is a pretty cool feature. Okay, so invert colors. Let's turn that on. The smart invert. Now I want to show you the difference between the smart invert and the classic invert. So I really enjoy the smart invert. As you can see, it's what is called, or used to be called, high contrast. And it makes everything just easier to read. It switches the colors, you know, so let's go not on, on. So it makes it really interesting. And if you go to the home screen, well, it still looks like the home screen. It doesn't necessarily change your pictures and stuff like that, so that's good. However, if you use the classic invert, okay, this part looks the same, right? And then you go to your home screen and whoa, what happened? So now your Facebook, it was blue, now it's like a green brown. Your Lyft that used to be purple is now green. Uber that was black is now white. And it just makes everything hard to read. In fact, I didn't even know it said that, but it says Lyft. It's very hard to read that now, and it wasn't before. It does the same thing to pictures and everything, so it's not a good one. Smart invert, way better. And it's possible now, so that's cool. So now we're going to open the notebook. This works for the large text, and the smart invert is great for text messaging and writing notes. Let's see what's going on here. That's funny. Okay, give me a note here, right here, guys. Okay, there we go. All right. And as you can see, the keyboard is much easier to read. So I double click the home button so I can do that. All right, smart invert, just going to turn it off to show you the difference. The keyboard, for somebody like me who's visually impaired, I learned years ago how to use this QWERTY back when we actually used keyboards. So I basically know where everything is, but it's still difficult for me to use this feature. So when I type, if I have the option, I like to use it, the smart invert. Okay, so I'm gonna go back, and now it's easy to type. Yay. Okay, so, and I'm going to dictate this one. You may not be able to hear me, but I'm going to, next to the space bar is a microphone. So I'm going to click that and dictate. What I said was, oh, that's funny, it got it wrong. I said write this message, comma, please. But now I'm going to show you, actually this is a perfect opportunity to show you what the error is with the zoom feature. So I'm going to zoom in, it's a little bit too close. So let's say I want to fix right. Okay, so I'm going to click on the G. Look, see how it slid me off to the right? Now this one, it wasn't a big deal, but the word is only 5 letters. And let's see if I can click right and fix it. So I did, that's cool. The rest looks fine to me. So I'm going to click out, but a lot of times I'm going to show you, let's just type a nonsense thing. So it can simulate, say, a long word, like let's say simultaneous. That was typed wrong. So I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to click on this F, that's third from the left here in the picture. I'm going to click on the F. And look, it slid me all the way to the right. It just, you can't really read what it says there. So the zoom isn't always great. No replacements found, of course, because it's a gibberish word. But it can be difficult to use. It's more for looking at something and then you have to unzoom and type it or fix it, edit it without the zoom on, which can be difficult, but very grateful that we have this feature now, which we didn't used to. So I'm just going to delete that. That's about it. Okay, so that's about it. That's the smart invert. Oh yeah, the only issue with this is the way this happens, the way this works is, let's say I'm using the notepad or whatever. I mean, this notepad, I'm writing my notes, I'm making phone calls, I go on social media, and then I come back. For whatever reason, it doesn't just take you to this screen. You have to, you get started, you get sent back to the beginning, so you have to go general, accessibility, where is it? Display accommodations, invert colors, and now I can turn it off. Now, why would I want to do that? Well, it doesn't always work. It is smarter than the classic, but you know, like you don't, but okay, so this is the classic. Remember, your home screen looks like this. So if you're calling an Uber or a Lyft, this is how it even on the smart invert, it'll show up just like this. The picture of the person and the car will be totally distorted, the colors will be wrong, and it's very hard to see it. So if you want to turn it off real quick, you can. It's a whole big process. So it can be quite annoying sometimes, but just be aware of that. And it's still a very nice option to have. Okay, so that is the smart invert, or the inversion of colors. That was display accommodations. Speech, I don't use it. Large text, we did that first, and that's on. Bold text, I don't use it. Button shapes, I'm really not sure. That must mean something other than what I think it means. I would think it either means this button right here, like these kind of buttons, or I originally thought it meant icons, but as you see, they're not very big, you know. And then I click into the settings, I go, oh gosh, where was it? There it is, button shapes. I'm going to turn it on. Now I'm going to go to the home screen, and everything is the exact same size. Now, I believe there is a way to change the icons. I haven't done it. I don't even know how to do it, but it's probably pretty simple. You could probably Google that pretty quickly and find out how to do it. So I'm going to turn that back off. Reduce transparency. I tried using it. It didn't work very well for me. Increase contrast. Don't use it. And that's it for the visual features that I use. And then you're into interaction, which is just a normal accessibility, not necessarily a disability accessibility feature, whereas these are basically if you have some kind of disability or if you just need help seeing, which there's a lot of people that need help seeing. So I believe I covered everything I was going to cover. You know, give it a big thumbs up if you can. Subscribe if you haven't already. And, you know, more importantly than that, you know, I hope this helps you, and perhaps you can share it with somebody else that it will help them with what they were doing. You know, so let's see. I do want to turn and see. Let's see. I want to turn back on the smart invert. I'm just gonna do that. But see, like where was it? I don't even remember now. It's confusing. Display accommodations, invert colors. I'm gonna turn that back on before I shut off this video. And I just want to say, have a nice day. That's funny. Put a period there. Let's delete that. See, let's see. I didn't really want a capital letter there. Okay. But you see how I zoomed back out to type the A? It's just hard to use. And you really can't. You can't type. There's no keyboard now. This is, again, I'm talking about the zoom feature that I'm using right now. But it's still great, especially if you have the smart invert on. And what I forgot to say is just please share this video with somebody that can truly use it. And I hope this helps you, and I hope you have a great day. Thank you very much. Bye.